In a quiet village, nestled between rolling green hills, lived two sisters whose paths were shaped not by fate, but by the choices in their hearts. One sister knew only comfort and praise, while the other knew only the cold touch of a stone floor and the endless list of chores. This is a story about the quiet power of kindness and how true treasures are not found but earned. In a faraway village, there was a small house where a husband and wife lived with their two daughters. Each had a daughter from a previous marriage. The wife adored her own child, a girl who grew up surrounded by soft fabrics and sweet words. She was never asked to do any work, and so her days drifted by in a haze of laziness, her only task admiring her own reflection in a silver mirror. But for the husband's daughter, life was very different. Her stepmother treated her poorly, her voice always sharp, her demands never ending. From the first light of dawn until the stars appeared in the night sky, the girl worked. She scrubbed the floors, tended the garden, and washed the clothes, her small hands often sore. Yet she never once complained. She did her work with a diligent heart, finding small moments of peace in the hum of her tasks. Her father watched this with a heavy heart. He saw the sadness in her eyes, but felt powerless against his wife's sharp tongue. As time went on, the father grew weak and fell ill. His daughter stayed by his side, tending to him with love and care. One day, holding his frail hand, she whispered, "Don't be sorry, Father. You have cared for me my whole life. Now it's my turn to care for you. I will go out and find work. I promise this difficult time will soon be over." Unseen, the stepmother listened from the doorway, a cruel smile forming on her lips. "Work?" she thought. "Perfect." She stepped into the room and said with false sweetness, "You are right. Your father is ill and we need money. Why don't you go and find work with a wealthy family? It's decided then. Tomorrow morning you will leave." The next morning, as the sun began to rise, the girl prepared to leave. Her father held her close and gave her one last piece of advice. "My child," he said softly, "remember this. Never say no to anyone asking for help, and whatever you do, do it with all your heart." With her father's words echoing in her mind, the girl began her long journey. Soon, she came across a withered, leafless tree. "Oh, kind girl," the tree sighed, "my branches are so dry and brittle. Will you help me get rid of them so I can grow new leaves?" Remembering her father's words, she climbed the tree and carefully broke off all the dead branches. A little further, she found a broken oven, cracked and covered in soot. "Little girl," the oven groaned, "will you please clean me and make me tidy? I will do you a good deed in return." The girl gathered mud and carefully patched all the cracks, cleaning it until it looked almost new. Next, she came across a well, its water stale and covered in moss. "Oh, hello," the well called out. "Will you take out this stale water and make me tidy? I will give you a great reward." So the girl worked tirelessly, drawing out all the old water until the well was clean. Finally, she met a muddy little dog with long, matted hair. "Will you trim my hair and give me a bath in the river?" the dog asked. The girl smiled, gently washed the dog in the cool river water, and trimmed its fur. As night fell, she arrived at a magnificent castle. It was the home of 7 fairies. They listened to her story and offered her a deal. "Stay with us for 1 year and keep our home tidy. There are 7 rooms. You may clean 6 of them, but you must never enter the 7th room." The girl gratefully agreed. For a year, she worked diligently, keeping the 6 rooms spotless. She never once felt the urge to look inside the forbidden 7th room. When the year was over, the fairies were pleased. "You have been honest and hardworking. It's time for your reward." They led her to the 7th room. Inside were 2 enormous heaps, one of glittering gold coins and the other of shining silver. "Go and roll over these coins. Whatever sticks to you is yours," a fairy said. The girl did as she was told, and she emerged shimmering from head to toe, covered in gold and silver. On her way home, she met the tree she had helped, now full of sweet, fresh pears. She met the oven, which was baking delicious bread and cakes. She met the well, which offered her fresh, cool water. And she met the dog, whose fur was now made of long, beautiful pearls. Each one offered her a gift for her kindness. When she returned home, her father, now healthy and strong, wept with joy. The stepmother and her lazy daughter, however, stared in disbelief. Filled with greed, the stepmother immediately sent her own daughter on the same journey. But the lazy girl was rude and refused to help the tree, the oven, the well, or the dog. When she arrived at the fairy's castle, she broke her promise and peeked into the 7th room, only to be stung by a swarm of angry bees. She ran home covered in bruises and dirt, with nothing to show for her selfishness. Her father looked at her and said calmly, "Laziness pays no reward. Only a humble and honest heart is truly rewarded." He then asked the wife and her daughter to leave their home forever. The father and his diligent daughter, now wealthy and happy, lived peacefully for the rest of their days. And so they lived, surrounded by the warmth that only a kind and honest heart can create. Stories like these remind us that the greatest treasures aren't always gold or silver. If you enjoyed this journey into a world where good deeds shine brightest, please subscribe to Snooze Tales and join us for our next magical adventure.